This show is powered by BL3P, the Lightning-enabled European Bitcoin exchange.
Connect the world.
Nitesh Balusu, Lightning Engineer, Georgia, USA.
How to Win Friends and Influence People is a self-help book written by Dale Carnegie. Published in 1936 and over 30 million copies have been sold worldwide. Will you try to influence us during this show?
Hopefully. I'll make you Bitcoiners.
Is Lisandro Martinez the best Manchester United transfer of the window?
Yes.
Rust is a multi-paradigm general-purpose programming language designed by software developer Graydon Hoare while working at Mozilla Research in 2006. Is Rust the best language to learn nowadays?
Yes.
FIFA 23 will be released on 30th September 2012 with Kylian Mbappé and Sam Kerr on the cover. Are you happy to finally see the long-awaited cross-platform support?
Yes.
Sometimes the boss peers command is confusing to me.
No.
The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham is one of the most popular books on investing. The book provides strategies on how to successfully use value investing into stock markets. Do you apply these strategies to Bitcoin nowadays?
No.
Bitcoin will fix the world.
Yes.
Do you iron your polo shirts?
No.
Biryani is a mixed rice dish that originated from the royal kansamas of the Durbar of Old Delhi under the Mughal Empire during the late 16th century of the former Mughal court. Are you aware that the biryani is the most online ordered dish in India?
Yes.
Are you Satoshi Nakamoto?
No.
Welcome to the Connect the World weekly podcast. I'm Edward.
And I'm Stef. We are ready to take you with us into the beautiful world of the Lightning Network.
Enjoy the ride. This is episode 40 of Connect the World. Stef,
Hey,
40,
hey.
man.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
I'm 40, so that's.
Oh, you look much younger, man.
Thank you. Oh.
Hey, but hey, we had a nice meetup last Friday, Edward. Are you
we definitely
fully
had.
recovered?
Today I'm recovered, so it took a couple of days. But
you were so wasted, man. Oh man.
And I was so late there and late at the party. That's what I call it. But the party was still there and it became late.
Yeah, but it was a very nice it was a very nice meetup. The first official meetup from our Satoshi Radio, the sort of Dutch-based community, and it was held in Café de Roemer in Haarlem. We tried to break the record of the amount of lightning payments, but I think we got stuck at 250 or something like that, and the record is at 400 or something. So, but the record was
so
in the middle of the bull market, and we are now in the middle of the bear market.
Yeah.
So I think it's even. It's still a nice number, right? So
that much in one evening is great. I mean, it's great. Yeah,
and a big thanks to Jan for organizing it. It was his place, obviously. Café de Roemer. He's the owner of the cafe.
Great place he has there.
A great place. Yeah. We already have been there a couple of times just to have some nice food and some drinks. But this time he volunteered to help the meeting at his cafe, and it was very well organized. He had a great buffet and all nice drinks, and it was also nice to see a lot of members from the. Who I actually met, Edward? I'm just thinking of it now.
New person or
no? One of the best ringleaders out there. It's a Dutchie.
Really?
Yeah, you may guess. Yeah? You may guess. One of the best. I always tell if he is leading a ring, everything is going completely fine.
LndBoss.
Yeah, I met him, man.
Of course.
Yeah, I met him. Because
I was really thinking about it. No,
there was
really.
a guy coming to me and he said, "Oh, so nice to meet you. Do you know who I am?" And I was like,
that's great.
"Well, yeah, I don't know." And he says, "Yeah, I'm LndBoss." And I said, "Oh man,
did
so
you
nice
spoke to him first within the Rings of Fire at voice chat or something?
I didn't know that
no?
he. Yeah, I spoke to him in a voice chat and obviously through Telegram, but never in person. So and I never saw his face. So it was great to officially meet him. And there were also some other guys from the Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire community. So
he mentioned him so many times.
Yeah. So it's
and there was a nice poster also with all the memes. Within the group that was also great. Ramon made it.
Yeah. So let's. I hope to see some international listeners from Connect the World or people from outside of Holland participating in the Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire at Bitcoin Amsterdam. That will be great, of course.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
And then
because we have a lot of foreigners, of course, and from a lot of countries. So it's definitely awesome to meet also them.
Yeah.
So
So
great.
So if you don't have a ticket yet, then you can use our promo code CTW Podcast, and you will get a nice discount. So if you want to have a beer with us, or just a nice chat, or some water, it's also fine, of course. Please.
And we had before 4 tickets. Now there are 3 at an extra discount of 35%.
Yeah.
So we will put it in a tweet again. We said last week, post a reaction under the tweet of this episode on the CTW podcast Twitter account, and don't forget to add promo code, and then you will have the 35% discount extra. And we only have 3 tickets now. We sold 1, so let's check if that there's someone who really wants to go and didn't buy a ticket yet.
Yeah. And I saw some other thing which is interesting to talk about, Edward, because we stumbled upon Fountain. It's a great app for value-to-value
Indeed, it
streaming. So you can listen to our show through Fountain. Some of you guys are already doing this, but they have a chart, and we are not yet in the chart. So
and the list is so long, and we're not on it.
We are not on it. So there's some work to do, guys. So if you're listening through Fountain, you can stream or boost an extra time to help us reaching the charts. It would be very nice. To be.
And you can leave a note or something to us, and then we'll see it in the Telegram group. And if you listen, you also earn sets yourself. So do use it. Of course, you can use also another podcast app, but Fountain is.
I use Fountain. I really like Fountain.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Yeah, the GUI is great, and I like it too.
Yeah, so let's have a talk about this episode then, Edward. Who do we welcome, man?
We welcome, the one and only Nitesh Balusu. Yeah, I'm saying it right. He's an open source developer from Georgia, USA, and started working at Foundry Digital.
Yep.
I'm very interested in talking with him because I see his name in a lot of places, but especially in the Boss Telegram group.
Yeah, the Balance of Satoshis. So he's doing some excellent work over there. So really,
we mentioned
really
him in the news sometimes. Yeah, indeed.
So let's start to talk a little bit about statistics of the Lightning Network first, and about our Rings of Fire community. We had a busy week, and the second part will be with Nitesh.
Connect o mundo.
Yeah, as I already mentioned, we had a busy week. Last week, we had a little over 38.69 Bitcoin pushed into the Lightning Network. And this week, we added 1.5 Bitcoin. And we are now at 40.2 Bitcoin. So the 40th episode, and also more than 40 Bitcoin pushed into the Lightning Network within our community, with around 1,374 members participating in over 181 rings, 145 million sets added this week.
Staggering amount. And check the website connecttheworld.live and hit Rings of Fire, and there you see the map with all the countries within the Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire, and it's really amazing to see it. And more than 40 Bitcoin. Come on,
it's crazy, right?
Yeah, and it felt like before at the beginning. So many people
Yeah, man.
in rings again. So yeah, great. And then the Lightning Network as a whole, we are now at block height 751,694 with more than 17,035 nodes and a network capacity of 4,563. And the Satoshis, 1 million Satoshis.
What is getting you? Yeah, it's getting you $200, 200 euros, and 382 Chinese yuan.
And the 200 is, funny. It's weird, strange.
Yeah, it's good for the people from the USA, but not for us. I think if you want to travel to the USA, but
Collect the build.
And then for some highlighted news updates from last week, brought to you by the Daily Moon. Curious about all you can do with LNURL, perhaps. Developer Fjatjev, he tweeted a curated list. He curated it himself, and it's full of images and videos of LNURL being used in the wild. So be amazed by all endless creative possibilities. You can also find a list of supporting wallets, services, libraries, and development tools. So that's very interesting. Check it out. And then Bitnop is the fastest growing Bitcoin app in Africa. And CEO Bernard Para and organizer he is also organizer at Koala.dev, a full-time program designed to train the next generation of African Bitcoin and Lightning developers. And he tweeted about their Bitnop Lightning integration that exists for exactly a year now. It's an exchange for Africans, mainly offering accounts for saving Lightning addresses, virtual dollar cards, as well as the so-called NOP credits.
And he enters our Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire community, so he probably will join a ring with us soon.
Absolutely. And then Satimoto, also very interesting. The Satimoto startup from Germany is a project to charge your electric vehicle and pay instantly with Bitcoin over the Lightning Network. And it means no sign-up is required and no credit cards are used. They're in the building and testing phase now and just tweeted about testing out zero-config PSBT batch channel opening on LND 15.1 beta. So check the video in the tweet, and there's also an extra tweet in the thread where he explains a little bit more. And the last item I chose was a Lightning Hack Day in Buenos Aires. On the 27th of August, there was a Lightning Hack Day there in Argentina. And it was organized amongst others by Voger Ventures and Gallery Money. And it was, again, a very successful Lightning Hack Day. And hack days are the best. So if you're in the possibility to go to a hack day, it's so interesting. Visit it. I've added the links in the show notes.
Alrighty. Do you want to read more and stay up to date about everything related to Lightning, the news and updates? Then head over to tdm.news and follow the Daily Moon on Twitter or Telegram. And Edward will put all the links in the show notes.
世界をつなぐ
All right, Edward, let's have a look at the rings forecast. I will start with a message from our colleague Jonī, because we experienced some issues with Tor, and I asked Jonī to maybe write something about it so we can explain to all the participants in the Rings of Fire why we have all those issues. So he wrote, since June there's a DDoS attack on the Tor network. There has been some progress, but it still hasn't been solved. This has led to quite some issues with Lightning nodes only accessible via Tor, which unfortunately also have been making things difficult in our Rings of Fire community. Since Tor 0.4.7.8, there are some fixes which do help, so make sure your node uses the latest version. It also adds congestion control, which should result in higher speeds. Unfortunately, this does not solve the issue entirely, but upgrading does help you and your peers. Although it is not a real solution to the Tor DDoS, it helps to have hybrid connectivity. Check our Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire Telegram group, because we often post how to enable hybrid mode. A good and easy method to enable hybrid mode while not revealing your home IP to the world is using a service like Tunnel Sets from our mate Hakuna, or set up a VPS yourself. And we will put some extra links into the show notes to check it out.
And then it's Hakuna Matata. Right?
Hakuna Matata, all problems are solved.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I already mentioned, we had a pretty busy week. We balanced 4 rings, starting with, and this is a very nice one, a collaboration with all Brazilian node runners. So the great guys and women from, I have to say, Caralho. I asked them, how do you say my God in Portuguese? Because we had some issues and suddenly they all solved and they said Caralho. So Caralho. The great guys and women from the Node Runners Brazil community joined a ring with us to learn about the process. They want to implement this in their own community. They have a community from around, I think, 1,000 members or something, and open more rings in the near future. Of course, we immediately wanted to help them out because Connect the World, while we were confident that this will be easy peasy ring, somehow the node of our initial ringleader, Bitcoin Hiro, had some unforeseen problems which practically made it impossible to smoothly balance the ring. But luckily, we had Helen Florindo to step in as a replacement, and somehow we were able to balance the ring right away. So the god of lightning was with us after all. It was. That
was so funny. It was just a split second, right?
Yeah, switching from ringleader, and then it suddenly all became possible again. So and then we had so it was a 5 million Satoshis ring, right? So that is also a pretty nice 5 million Satoshis 28 ring. Then we had the 3 million Satoshis 22nd ring. We had to switch ringleader again in this ring. Our initial ringleader, Alan Rolko, did his utmost, but had some problems with his node and therefore was unable to run the script. But Move 4711 volunteered to step in and took the lead as a first-timer and balanced the ring in no time. So great job to both of you, and enjoy those freshly balanced channels. And then we had the 2 million Satoshis 29th ring. This was a tough one too. We had a tough week. But with the help of Insane Splash and some great strength and perseverance, our ringleader, Serious Lightning, managed to balance the ring after all. We suddenly got an opportunity to balance and he waited no longer, had to pay some fees, and took the chance. So great teamwork. And then last but not least, the 2 million Satoshis 28 ring. This was a tough one too, but with the help of that was the text from the previous one. That was the third one of the day, so we balanced 3 in one day. It was Bitbet who took the leadership. I think he's from Belgium here, and he did an amazing job balancing the ring. Bet has a really nice streak, joining almost every 27th ring now. So from 500k up to 5 million. Nice works, and thanks to all.
So that was that. What a long list.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stef. And let's head over to the lightning notes.
Let's do it.
Conectado Lumea.
Make sure to secure your home network. So change default passwords and use 2-factor authentication where possible. And keep your software up to date. It's also very important. Please keep in mind that the whole Lightning network is very experimental. Software like MyNode, Umbrel, Raspberry Blitz, for example, and many others, and LND also, are still in beta phase. Don't blindly run terminal commands on your node if you don't understand them yourself, and especially when prefixed with sudo. And the last one is also very important. Don't use Satoshis that you're not willing to lose. So if you're not aware of all security considerations, then read into it. Educate yourself, read articles, ask for help in Telegram groups with high reputation like ours, and listen to podcasts and learn by doing. Otherwise, don't participate.
Also, you can stay informed by following us on Twitter. You can find us at Satoshi Radio ROF. And follow our Lightning leader, Jonī Kyasshu. Join our Telegram groups, Satoshi Radio, Ring of Fire, and Connect the World. And check our website, satoshi.radio. It would be nice for you to be part of our LndBoss community. You can find us there on Satoshi Radio. And like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Use Podcasting 2.0 to listen to Connect the World. And you can check SAT trading for the current value. You can find all this information, of course, also in the show notes as well.
All right, let's get on to the show.
Connetti il mondo.
Welcome, Nitesh. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Hi, guys.
Hey, and congrats on Lisandro Martinez, man. I'm a supporter of Ajax Amsterdam, and he used to play with us for the past few seasons, and I think he was one of our best players in the team. So obviously, our former coach Erik ten Hag joined Manchester United to manage the club.
Yeah.
But he just wants all the Ajax players, man. I mean, we're not happy at Amsterdam. we like to keep Lisandro Martinez. He's such a good midfielder, man.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even us as fans, like a new coach comes in and he just brings everybody from the past. I'm like, dude, get some other people as well.
Yeah, I mean,
don't
ruin your old team, right?
Or you're building the same club on in another place. Well, yeah, that's strange.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, financially, it's good for Ajax, obviously, but of course. Yeah, we also want to win prizes and trophies, and we need to keep some of the players at Amsterdam. So if you don't mind, you can keep Martinez. I saw you guys also wanted our right winger. What was his name? Anthony, obviously from Brazil, but he will stay in Amsterdam, man. I'm sorry. Maybe you can get him. Maybe you can get him next year for £120 million or something. We can agree on that, but not this season, okay?
And for the money, Stef, that's used for Martinez, who are they going to buy then? Because they need another star, right?
Yeah, we bought a couple of stars, but we lost Martinez. That's the thing that counts.
Yeah, of course. Hey, Nitesh, I was interested in your bio. You say Bitcoin is hope. What are you hoping for?
When I first got into Bitcoin, I thought this is funny, internet money. People just buy drugs on the internet, nothing else. And then when I started reading about it, like it solves so many problems on the planet. Like with that famous saying every Bitcoiner says, "Fix the money, fix the world." So yeah. I think Bitcoin is going to be big, and it's probably going to solve a lot of problems on this planet. That's why Bitcoin is hope.
Yeah, this is so beautiful. You said yes so truthfully, and then I thought, well, you really I see that spark. You really believe that this is gonna fix the world, and of course we also believe that. But it's nice to hear it again and talk about it. Yeah, Bitcoin is hope.
It is hope.
And we are going to talk about your new job, of course, within our official interview part, but. We wanted to ask you this because the tweet you made about finally switching your career to a Bitcoin-based company, it has more than 1,592 likes and 81 retweets. Why so many?
I have no idea. It's like everybody likes my career switch, right? And I love it. By the way, my wife, I think I was in a meeting with Foundry like 2-3 hours ago, and my wife came into the room. I think she came to give me lunch. And then she's like, I never saw you so happy in meetings. Like she says, my face is glowing because I'm so excited to work finally in Bitcoin. Maybe that's why. Maybe everybody who works in Bitcoin loves their job. That's why everybody liked it, retweeted, I guess.
We also smile every episode. Of
course. Yeah, because it's so great to contribute, but. I think also there are a lot of people that also want to change one day or also want to contribute in a way. So it is a bold move to do it, but it's the right one. And if you if it makes you this happy, I remember Stef with Rusty Russell also. He told us how he got into this, and his life changed, and I think that's so important. So great.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoever watches this show, like if you get a chance to switch to Bitcoin, trust me, I mean, it's the best move of your life. You should totally do it.
Nice. Great. And we heard your first experience with the Lightning Network was with Wallet of Satoshis and buying a gift card, I think, from Bitrefill. What amazed you the most when you tried to do that?
Yeah, so when I first got into Bitcoin, I knew nothing about Lightning. I was learning all on-chain stuff, and then I listened to all the shitcoiners online. Oh, the block size is so small. You gotta wait 20 minutes at Starbucks to get your coffee. It's impossible. Bitcoin can't scale, and things like that. So, and then I was getting these YouTube video recommendations, and one of them was about Lightning Network by Andreas Antonopoulos. the guy who wrote the awesome book of mastering Bitcoin and even mastering Lightning Network. So I was getting his video recommendations, and one of them was, he explained like in a few minutes what Lightning Network is. I watched that video. I was like, oh wow, let me try this out. And then I tried, and I bought this gift card on Bitcoin. I was like, you shitcoiners, Bitcoin can
full of shit.
totally scale.
Yeah.
This thing works, and it worked great. Yeah, I was truly amazed.
And I saw on your Twitter that you own both books you just mentioned, Mastering Bitcoin and Mastering the Lightning Network.
Okay, let's show them.
Yeah.
And did you finish both?
Yes, I did.
And do you want to contribute on maybe a future edition of them?
Maybe.
Yeah, so put your name here then, Nitesh. Come on.
I'll take a pen and write it myself.
Of course.
Oh, nice. Hey, great, man.
I think that's if you want to change careers and you want to know more, then please read the books, and not only if you're a developer, a lot of things you can grasp and you can talk about and learn about, or you can participate in a Chain Code Lab seminar, or just be in the community and talk with other people. So that's what we did.
Absolutely. Yeah, when I posted that tweet that I'm switching career, like a few people DM'd me asking, how did you switch your career? It's like, dude, you don't have to be a developer. You could be a podcaster. You could be business development. You could be a sales guy. You could talk on TV. You could write books. You could do testing. You could do so many things. It's not just dev work.
No, that's right. That's right. That's right. So maybe, Edward, there's also a career for us, right?
Perhaps. We're going to cut this part out and then spread the word.
Hey,
maybe
nice,
our
man.
podcast gets listened to now. Of course.
Of course we do. Hey, Nitesh, we have all kinds of questions for you about your great work at Balance of Satoshis, Foundry Digital, where you work now, and your vision on the Lightning Network. But it has to be in the 21 minutes. So if you are ready, we would like to enter. Oh, let's go, Edward. It's already let's go. Are you ready, Edward?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Collect the build.
Yeah, let's start off with Balance of Satoshis. Well, Alex Bosworth created Balance of Satoshis, and for the people who don't know it, it's a great script and a must-have for managing your LND Node, channel balances, and a lot more. And I remember a trade secret using it, and then entering a secret group, and there you were there. Almost all the time. You're a significant contributor to the repository on GitHub next to Alex, of course. And how did this start? Your relationship with Alex and contributing for it?
Really, when I just started running my node, I thought, I eventually wanted to switch my career into Bitcoin. And like most people, I had no clue where I should start. And then I saw somebody's tweet on Twitter saying, the best place to start is what you already love, right? What you already love. I love writing code. And then also the best place to start is already the things that you use. So I used Boss a lot. Like I don't use any other tool. I literally just use Boss. So I was like, okay, let's try contributing. And I submitted my first pull request. It got merged. I got excited, and then I started just keep doing it. And then it just became, part of my hobby. It was a nice experience.
Great.
Yeah, nice, man. In June of this year, you released the first version of the front end for Balance of Satoshis with the name LndBoss. Excellent for people who don't feel comfortable using the command lines. And now you're at version 1.50.9 already. When and why did you come up with the idea to create a GUI around Boss?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are not like really good at command line because, unless you're like a really, there you go. Unless you're like a nerd who really wants to learn computer stuff, it's hard for most people, to use command line. And Boss is such a powerful tool that can, really help you run your node really better. So I thought, why not mix both of them and then create a UI and see if people like it. So I started working on it. It's actually a massive project because I really have to sort of rebuild all of Boss and then also build a UI on top of it. So it is going on pretty well, making progress, but that's primarily the reason why I did it.
Nice.
All right. Everything is always more work if you start with it. And is it also ready to install on different platforms? So also
yes, it is.
All right.
Yeah. So I submitted a pull request for Umbrel to add it to their app store. It's probably going to get merged in like a week or two, and then maybe in the next Umbrel release, you'd have it.
Yeah.
I got a little lazy. I have to add it to Raspberry Blitz and all the other places. I have to do that too, but I'll get to that.
So you don't need to use Lightning Shell and anymore. Just straight away the LndBoss app from within Umbrel. Yeah. Well, great. Yeah.
Great, man. And what are your plans with LndBoss for the future? Are you also thinking about adding new features to Boss together with Alex, or?
I think Alex is already super busy. I don't expect him to help me with that. But my future plans is I want to first build out all the commands of Boss in LndBoss. Like I'm going one by one. I'm at like 20 commands so far. Like I guess I have like 15 more to go. And then I will start looking to build automation stuff. Now, most of the stuff that you do in LndBoss right now is like manual. You go click, 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 and then you get your results. But I want to add more automation so that people don't have to monitor their node as frequently.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. And and a trade secret also, right? You're gonna put it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, trade secret will be on it.
It's so fun to use it. As we mentioned earlier, you tweeted at the end of July about switching your career to work at a Bitcoin company. We know that you're starting now at Foundry Digital, Foundry X. What kind of company is it, and what services do they provide?
So Foundry has multiple businesses. One of their most famous one is the mining pool. Foundry is the world's largest mining pool by hash rate. So that's one of their businesses, and one of their other businesses is they sort of finance you mining machines. So you can buy S9s and stuff like that from them, and then you could also finance if you want to, and then join their pool. Their parent company is DCG. It's pretty big here in the US. They have these futures Bitcoin ETF, and they also have some shitcoin coinery, but
you will make sure they drop that in the couple of years.
But also the physical miners, the physical machines, you can buy them from Foundry, or okay, and then put it into place for working.
Yeah, and then you can mine yourself, and then you can plug into Foundry's mining pool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
And you mentioned that you will build apps on the Lightning Network. What will be your role at Foundry then? And what will you build or create by them?
Right now, I mean, we are still playing around with Lightning. There's not too much Lightning going on at Foundry like live. So right now we are still in the playing phase. We are exploring different implementations, seeing how we can run nodes. Now when you're a mining pool, like obviously you're running at scale. It's no longer like a Raspberry Pi at home, right? You're doing industrial scale Lightning. So we are still exploring a lot of stuff, and hopefully we can build some cool products in the future.
Nice.
But that's what I'm thinking about.
I think there are some secrets he can't share with us.
Because industrial like running Lightning, that's totally different than I don't know. It's it could be very interesting also for yield creation or something. And how difficult was this road for you to switch your career and end up working within the Bitcoin space and Lightning space?
Well, I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not the most hardworking person on the planet. It took some effort. I had to spend like 3-4 hours a day writing code, doing contributions, learning more. But I have to say, I did get a little lucky. I met one of the guys on Clubnet. He introduced me to his company when I went to Miami this year at the Bitcoin conference. I hung out with those people over there, and then I eventually got a job. I was a little lucky as well. But you still have to put in that effort to learn new stuff, because I was coming, I mean, even though I was a programmer before, but I had to like completely switch tech stack and learn a whole bunch of new things. it took some effort.
Yeah. And when people want to contribute to Bitcoin and Lightning, what would be your advice from there to start?
Like I said before, I think the best place to start would be what you already like use and love, right? For example, if you use Wallet of Satoshi, for example, and if their wallet is public on GitHub, you could help them test, you could help them write documentation, you could help market their product, you could write code. So there are so many different things you could do. And I also think the number of Bitcoin jobs are opening up and people are hiring. So I think this is a great time if anybody is interested in switching careers.
Great. And to talk a little bit about the mining, in episode 25th, we spoke to Peter from AZ Huddle. I don't know if you know him.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. And he, as you all know, then he runs a fantastic mining project with a Bitmain S19J. Powered by solar panels. And his statement is that every Bitcoiner should mine. And Foundry X, of course, is a trusted marketplace for buying and selling cryptocurrency mining machines. Do you think about mining yourself one day, or are you mining already behind that wall there?
I'm not mining already, but it was always in my plans to run a miner. But also, you have this thing, not your hash, not I mean, if you don't have your own hash power, it's not, you can't host it somewhere else in Russia or some other facility, right? Like through Compass mining or something. So and I can't really put an S9 miner at home. My wife is going to get mad at me, so I have to figure out
they're getting pretty cheap actually.
They're getting cheaper. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Hopefully Foundry can give me a couple of machines.
Or a submersive one.
That will be more nice, obviously. And do you think that the ability of renewables in Bitcoin mining is viable?
Absolutely. I think miners always look for the cheapest source of energy. They, like, for example, Canada has a bunch of renewable source of energy. Miners go there and look to extract energy. So I think Bitcoin mining and renewables is totally possible. That's what the government wants, I guess. ESG.
ESG, always ESG.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was also thinking about if it is viable and it could help households to have that energy transition to make it more easy. Then I think it perhaps one day you will be running one, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they will find a solution. I don't know.
They will.
In the Netherlands, we have glass houses, and there we also some people use it there, and I think that that's an interesting thing to follow. Well, let's talk about some Lightning stuff. And I've read that you like Raspberry Bolt the most of all LND distributions. Why is that? And are you running one then?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of run a Raspberry Bolt. Raspberry Bolt is not really a distribution per se. It's a set of instructions to, build everything from scratch. I started with an Umbrel, but I quickly realized that's probably not the route most people should take because one, Umbrel is not fast software. It's not open source. I'm not sure if you're comfortable putting your coins on non-open source software. That's one phase. But I think Umbrel I won't purely criticize Umbrel. That's probably a bad thing to do. But distributions technically have a lot of control on, what gets pushed out to you as a user, which might not be the best thing in my opinion. I always believe just build it from scratch is a little bit of a pain. If you're not very good with computers, you'll probably have a little tough time. But I think once you build it and you start getting used to it, you should be fine.
And are you also experimenting with Eclair of Core Lightning or Liquid?
I think at Foundry, it'll be part of my job to experiment with most of them. But on mainnet right now, I'm only running LND. I did run a little bit of Core Lightning on testnet and stuff like that. But I think I'm most excited about LDK. It's called Lightning DevKit. I'm super bullish on it. I'm dying to try it. Never got a chance, but probably the first thing that I would do.
Nice.
And you're running your node or one of your nodes on Amazon EC2, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, and provides a scalable computing capacity in the Amazon Web Services Cloud. What are the advantages for you to run it in the cloud?
Well, the two main reasons. One is reliability. Second is scalability. Now, I'm not going to scale my node too much, but I think mostly reliability. For example, when I switched from Umbrel, which was running on a Raspberry Pi at home, I switched to AWS, and my node never went down in like the last 1 year, like 0 times. I had almost zero downtime other than me just restarting myself. So I think reliability is super important, especially if you're running like a global payment system. Sometimes Raspberry Pi might not be the best place to go.
No.
So even though I know a lot of Bitcoiners kind of get mad, not your computer, you're running on somebody else's computer, blah, 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 but it is what it is.
Well, it's a search for redundancy, I think. And I was immediately thinking about Voltage, also offers nodes in the cloud, of course. Is there a difference, do you think, between Amazon and Voltage? Well, Amazon is, of course, much bigger. Or is it that you run a specific node that can only be done by hand, manual?
Oh, no. I actually explored into the option of actually going to Voltage. But I think they didn't start their product when I switched to AWS. I'm not quite sure, but I did ask them if I could move my existing node to Voltage instead of using Amazon, and they said they don't have the technology yet to switch an existing node. You all have to start from scratch. I don't want to go through the pain of starting from scratch again. So I'm like, I'll switch to you guys when you have that ready.
Yeah,
when you guys
perhaps
are ready,
one day.
hit me up.
Well, that would be really nice, right? Because I'm also thinking, changing your node to another place. That I think if that's easy, then a lot of people will try to do the switch, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you like to run a rebalance on your node from another system to reduce your CPU usage. Can you explain this and what is your advice for rebalancing?
So I think this is like a personal preference mostly, like running from a remote machine. But the main reasons I do it is because my AWS instance is not a very powerful machine. Of course, I took a smaller machine to save money because I have to pay Amazon a bunch of money every month. So if I run my rebalances on that machine, it takes more CPU power. So what I do is I connect my node remotely from my MacBook, and then I run my rebalances on my MacBook, which saves CPU power primarily.
Yeah.
And my advice for rebalances, I think every node operator will have like top 5 channels that go crazy with the amount of routing they do, and then they have like slow peers that don't route as much. I think you should actively rebalance your most important peers, and the other peers, you could get away with like fee management, set fees based off of how much liquidity you have and things like that. But I think rebalancing is super important, but especially the channels that make you a lot of money.
Yeah. And do you run yourself also automated scripts for changing the fees or rebalancing, like charge LND or LNDG?
No, I'm a super old school guy. I click buttons myself. I'm really skeptical when it comes to automation scripts, even though I'm probably building one, but I don't really run automation stuff myself.
I remember Carsten Otto also said that he's doing everything by hand. So. Yeah, well, with scripts, of course, but not automated.
Yeah. And I mean, he runs a much bigger node than me, by the way, and he does it manually.
That's crazy.
Well, if you want completely in control, you have to be in control yourself, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Makes me feel I'm in power. So
and it's fun. It's also fun to do it yourself, of course, and it makes you understand perhaps more about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you think about the future of the Lightning Network, already some businesses outsource running a node. Do you think everyone should own a node, or And why is that?
I am not really a believer that everybody should run a node. I like this laid out, like a community system. Like, I don't want like a giant corporation running everybody's nodes, but I prefer like, a node for like 500, 1,000 people, one tech guy, who's, familiar with the community. People, trust him. And then people have their own like little sort of custodial wallets or something. It's not the best case scenario, but I don't think everybody will be able to run a node. It's a very difficult thing to achieve. So I'm okay with a slightly trust-based system.
Okay.
All right. And you wrote on a Twitter thread an article on LinkedIn also about some things that you learned about Lightning Channel management. What are the most important things that every node operator needs to know? And not all of them, but just a few, perhaps.
Yeah, I think the most important one, and I think the most difficult part also in Lightning is when you're running a node, is how you select your peers and how you allocate your liquidity. And those two are the $1 million questions. If you can figure those out, you're probably a very profitable Lightning node. So I think how you select your peers, I think you have a decent number of tools now, like LND Node Inside. You can use LndBoss, and there is LN Router, and you can use these tools to sort of figure out what kind of peers you want to peer with. But allocating liquidity, how much the channel size should be, how much fee you should charge, and things like that are, you'll learn over time. But I think allocating, if you know the liquidity game, then you're probably a very good project.
and with more adoption of Lightning, it seems that more non-custodial services will be inevitable. You already mentioned that not everybody will run a Lightning node, for instance. And do you see this as a risk or trade-off? Or
more non-custodial services, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
I don't think so. Like, we are Bitcoiners. Everybody wants to hold their keys. Like, that's what we preach. So I think more non-custodial services is good. I think in the Lightning space, especially, let's take mobile wallets, right? Mobile wallets and non-custodial is like, we have Breeze, we have Blix, but they work very well when they're working, but you can't receive payments offline, for example, when the app is closed. So it's a lot of tricky stuff when it comes to non-custodial and Lightning. But I think we will get there eventually. People will figure out solutions. More non-custodial is great, but I just stick to what I said before. Not everybody should run a node. A little trust-based system is okay.
Hey, and Nitesh, Alex, Bosworth also integrated and tested begin July a new feature, opening a balance channel within a ring with up to 420 nodes in one transaction. What new possibilities and opportunities will this feature bring, do you think?
He's such a super smart guy, right? I don't know how he figured that part out. But I think you guys built the largest ring of fire.
Yeah,
so,
we did.
65.
Imagine if that thing existed when you guys did it, and then you did like everybody in one single transaction, right? That's super cool. I think it's a great way to onboard new people into Lightning. It saves on-chain fees, and you immediately get inbound and outbound liquidity in one single transaction with two peers at the same time, right? So it's a lot more efficient. Maybe I have some plans to like build like a marketplace for it, but it's a long way away. Like people can like join like a website where if I'm starting a ring, people can join the table, and then when the ring is complete, and then some sort of automation way of opening the ring with as less coordination as possible. It's far off, but it's in my mind.
Do you think he changed something in the protocol? How did he manage to do it?
Yeah,
I don't
know. It's like everybody signs the transaction, so the signatures pass around in a ring, and then once everybody finishes signing, the person who initiates the transaction broadcasts it to the blockchain. That's how all the channels open, but it's really smart.
Nice. Because we had the threshold of 27 hops, and LND just didn't. We even asked Alex, and he said, "What are you trying to do?"
You guys are crazy. Why don't you want to do this?
Because 27 hops is just not 65. That's what we needed. It's not normal, of course, because you want the shortest route. Yeah. We're gonna ask him how he did it, because this is
it's like asking a Michelin star the chef what his recipe is, right? I mean, come on.
No, that's right. Yeah. We wanted to ask a lot of more questions. I was looking at the list, but if you want, we would be delighted to have you on the show again to ask those other questions. So perhaps, some other time.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Helt Knut. Well.
Hey, we have one question left for you, Nitesh, from our previous guest. And our previous guest was Bastien Tenturier, and he is the VP of Engineering at Async. So we asked him to come up with a question for you. Edward will play the audio file, and then you may answer it.
Okay, I have a very tricky question. It's much harder than it looks. Do you think that Lightning works if the on-chain fees are consistently high? Good luck.
Okay, I think it would still work. So let me give two examples. The first example is recently when Binance dumped all their UTXOs to consolidate them on the blockchain. We had like 10 days of like full blocks, and it was crazy. Mempool Lightning still worked then. Usually, mempool is pretty full during bull markets, like after a halving, like in late 2020, and Lightning was doing pretty okay. I think we have also gotten to a point where we made channel openings, especially, extremely efficient. People batch their channels, right? So you're saving cost, so you can still open a bunch of channels. You might pay a slightly, a premium than what you used to pay, but you're still, probably you can even open 50 channels in one transaction if you want to. I think we will even get to a point where we could batch close channels. Maybe force closing fees will get cheaper, but I think Lightning will just do fine if the mempool is full.
Oh, what a relief.
What a relief.
and I opened all my channels last year and thinking about what the future might bring. And I'm like, okay, I have them open now. I can hopefully survive buying my groceries and stuff in the next couple of years. The mempool can be full to me. It doesn't matter much.
Yep.
Nitesh, next week we have another guest, and his name is José Lemus. He's the CEO of Ibex Mercado. Do you have also a question for him?
Sure. So here's my question for him. So how do Bitcoiners promote the use of Lightning in the digital economy? Like maybe a little bit in the shitcoin space also, right? Like, for example, OpenSea can integrate Lightning where they, NFTs are sold and bought. Like a lot of things can be pegged to Lightning in the digital space, but we haven't done so much in that space. Why is that?
Verbinden die Welt.
Okay, man. Well, thank you, Nitesh. Where can people follow you? I see. You are very active on Telegram. I told you in the pre-interview that every time I open up my Telegram, I see all those messages from you and Plabnet or all the other groups.
High frequency channels, right?
Very high frequency. But maybe you have a Trader to shill or your GitHub or whatever you want, man.
Yeah,
the floor is yours.
I'm most active on Telegram and Twitter, and both my handles are Nitesh_BTC. My GitHub is Nitesh Balusu 11, but I think Telegram is the easiest place. If you're DMing me on Telegram, don't DM a hello. You're probably a scammer. So hi. Get a little creative. So, but yeah, I'm pretty active on Telegram and Twitter. That's where you can find me.
Nice.
All right. Well, thanks again, Nitesh. It was a great having you with us. Yeah, really.
Yep. It was a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again. And thanks for listening, and thanks to all members participating in the Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire. And of course, thanks to everyone helping us to connect the world together. And if you like our content, then please support us in our mission. Visit our website, connecttheworld.live or tdm.news, where you can donate and subscribe, like, and share our content on your favorite platform or Podcasting 2.0. We need you to complete our mission, connect the world. So keep those nodes running, sats flowing, and rings burning. And see you all next week with José Lemus on this same Lightning channel. Vis laat, Nitesh.
Vaarwel.